Hello, this is Giovanni with Lavo Solutions. Today we're going to program our LavoWare Pro. After you've mounted the dispenser, simply turn it on by pressing the power switch on the right side upward. Today we're going to program version 7.10. It's important to note that 6.8 is the other version that is available. When the unit's powered up, it'll say System OK to start. To access the programming, you hold the Enter key and it'll prompt you for a password. The default password out of the factory is all zeros. Press Enter and you'll have access to the programming menus. There's 3 programming options: General Settings, Menu Statistics, and Programming. While Menu Statistics actually doesn't allow you to program anything, it does allow you to know how your dispenser is functioning. Menu Programming is where you set some of the parameters for dispensing, and General Settings is where you set up the basics of the job site. We're going to start in General Settings. Here you'll see the first option that pops up is Dishwasher Type. To change the type of dishwasher, you're going to press Enter, and you'll toggle with the negative or positive sign to the type of dishwasher that you have. Press Enter to save the change and move to the next menu. Again, if you need to change the solenoid valve charge for your initial charge, you'd press the Enter key and you'd toggle between the 2 voltages available. The initial charge signal can have either 115 to 230 volts or 24 volts, VAC or VDC for 24 volts. You have the same voltage options for your rinse signal, and then if you end up hooking to the wash pump, or if the wash pump's what you hook up to, you would have the same voltage options there. Again, to change anything, it's always going to be Enter on the screen and plus or minus to toggle between the options. Conductivity is whether or not you're using a probe. If you select yes, you're going to get features, and the next programming options will be related to probe mode. If you select no, it's for probeless mode, and your programming will be set up accordingly. In this case, we're going to set it up for probe mode. Program activation should always be manual. You do have the option to select automatic, but it is recommended you stick with manual. Number of programs is the number of programs that you want to have active on the dispenser. You'll see here program 1, 2, and 3. On a 2-pump dispenser, you would see programs 1 and 2. The options available if you have different program parameters for the job site. So for example, if you wanted 1 in probe mode and 1 in probeless mode, you could have that option. Or if you wanted 1 to be probe mode and then 1 for your descale, you could have that option as well. We're going to leave it at 1 program. Dosing type will always be normal. Rinse limit, continue. You get to choose, it's either going to run for the duration of the signal, your rinse signal, or you can set up a limit on how much time you want the rinse pump to run when the signal comes on. Your conductivity band is the amount of your set point that you want the pump to dose to before it starts pulse feeding. In this case, it'll be 80% of your set point, and then it'll pulse feed for the remaining 20%. If you wanted to change that again, you'd press Enter, and you would adjust your parameters accordingly. Your password 1 is the main password to access the system. If you would like to change it, you press Enter. Up and down will change your number. The right arrow will move you over, and you can set it accordingly. When you're done, you press Enter. If you'd like your customer to have access to some of the statistics, you can set a password 2 for them. After you've done that, you're complete in this menu. You can reset it here if you'd like. It'll be a general reset, so it'll reset everything under the general menu and menu programming. Press escape once, it'll take you back to general settings. Now we can move to menu programming. Press enter. Program 1 is where it's going to start. There's several options available under menu programming. So program 1 is where you set your detergent pump and your rinse pump settings. Pump additive is for your third pump if you have one. You would set up what type of pump that is and what type of additive you're using. It could be descaler or it could be sanitizer. Alarms is where you can set up emergency mode. Counters is the counters that you have for each of the product. It can count the remaining amount of product in volume, and it'll alarm if that volume has been met, and it'll alarm until the dispenser has been reset with the new volume of the chemical that was just changed out. Menu Advanced has some additional settings for the dispenser. So we're going to start with program 1. Filter charge is the amount of time that you want the dispenser to block the signal before it accepts the signal for your initial charge. In most cases, you can do between 5 and 20 seconds. 5 seconds should be more than enough to prevent ghost signals. Detergent first charge. If you are not using a signal for your detergent pump, you can set your detergent first charge here. Or if you are in probless mode, you would set your detergent first charge here. This feature is also great if you're using a dry detergent. You can press the first charge button when you first start the dispenser, and it'll dose for the 20 seconds to get you going in the tank. Set point is where you can set the actual concentration in the tank as of right this moment. So if my tank was titrated at this point in time, I could press enter. It'll take the reading straight from the tank. Set point reg is where you can adjust the set point to meet a specific requirement that you have for the tank. For example, if you programmed another dishwasher and you know your set point is right around 150, you could adjust this number here to get to 1 of 50 and then titrate your tank accordingly. Rinse speed is your rinse pump. Right now it's in speed. You do have other options for time. This will allow you to pick a specific time that you want your rinse pump to run, and then you have on and off where it'll dose for a second and it'll turn off, and then it'll dose for a second and then it'll turn off. We're going to leave it at speed. The next option would be rinse speed. However, if you did not choose rinse speed, your next option would be rinse on off or rinse time, and you would set that accordingly. And now you're back to the first menu.